When you trade crypto, and nobody's bad. When the market starts to slide, paper hands drop as prices go down. Where's the time? Market rebounds. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're not in crypto right now, you are missing out on one of the biggest opportunities in your life. Hit that like button, join and subscribe, and enjoy Road Dog Crypto.
Ooh la la.
Good afternoon, everyone. Captain Lane speaking, and wishing you a safe travels to your crypto destination. For those of you traveling with mice, please securely position your cursor over the like button below and right-click with your favorite finger. For those with touchscreen devices, we ask that you gently press the
Greetings to the crypto community. We are pseudo-anonymous. We are here to smash that like button. We believe this content needs to reach more people like you. We are watching. We are listening. Most importantly, we are liking and subscribing. We are pseudo-anonymous. Expect us.
Hey, Kimmy, baby, I had a book over here in this drawer. You seen it?
You mean a little black book? Oh, honey, I cleaned out those drawers in that whole room and made a big donation to Goodwill. But don't worry, we can get you another one.
Oh, hell no. You're never going to believe what happened to me today at the Goodwill. I found a book of seed phrases, honey. I can get those hair transplants now. Oh.
Go best friend. That's my best friend. Go best friend. That's my best friend. That's my best friend. Go best friend. That's my best friend. Go best friend. That's my best friend. That's my best friend.
If you just stumble across the channel, it's probably because somebody hit that like button before. And for those of you who hit that like button, comment, and subscribe, I just want to say thank you. Thank you very much. Well, it's all right now because anything you do, oh, baby, that's all right. Oh, baby, that's all right.
Some call him the Nostradamus of crypto. His charting skills have discovered new entire galaxies. He once was engaged to Satoshi Nakamoto's oldest sister. He is the most interesting trader in the world. And today we ask him, What do you do when the market crashes?
I buy more. And I also subscribe to Road Dog Crypto. Trade wisely, my friends.
For those of you out there that have been hitting that like button, I just want to say thank you. Thank you very much.
Welcome everyone to our daytime version of our late night show. It's about 1:35 here on the eastern coast of the U.S. I felt the need to do this video because, man, I've been studying these charts really hard lately, especially the bigger time frames, and I just see the possibility of it looks kind of very iffy on the bigger time frames, and I just felt this was the time to make a video out there to kind of rein us in just a little bit and talk about what I want to tell you what I'm doing. I'm planning on de-risking. I'm in the process of de-risking, and I think it's an important step because if we do take another leg down, which is what the much bigger time frames are saying can happen, we got to be real about it. Otherwise, you're riding this market up and down, and if you got any leverage on it, like I do, then it'll mess with you. It will mess with your head. It will mess with your money. It will mess with your whole life. So we don't want to do that. So de-risking comes into play, and we're looking at Bitcoin being down 58, 59,000, and thinking, well, you're going to de-risk here? Well, there's steps to it, and I'm going to show you what the method that I'm doing. And it's working well with spot margin. If you're doing spot margin, something like this, hopefully this will be insightful, but it works on anything spot and otherwise. Although if you are holding spot, just know this: if you got conviction on your bags, you may not have to do anything. If you're cool with taking a little bit of a drawdown and watching it do what it can do at even lower prices, especially for these altcoins, they could be in danger. But if you're on spot and you got conviction, you can hold it, you're fine. So, but you can also de-risk your spot bags if you want to. That gives you some dry powder, gives you some cash reserves that you can deploy as prices come down. Now, we don't want to sell the bottoms. We don't want to do that. That's just silly. That's a newbie mistake. Prices dump and then everybody sells. But we're not at a dumpy dump price. The dumpy dump price that we saw last time was when Bitcoin got to 49,000. I need a good solid chart here I can mess with and play around with. This one looks good. All right. Oh, this is on CoinEx. This is where I've got my plays at, so this makes perfect sense. So let me clear out all this and let's go over what I'm seeing with Bitcoin. We're going to go out to the bigger time frames and say why. This is why that I think it's a time to be concerned. It just gots to. It would be silly not to. Now, first thing I like to do is just kind of get my lines in order. All right, so this secondary line here says that we could drop all the way down here to about 40,000, and that is very much on the table. If we lose this 9 monthly moving average, and if we come over to our regular candles, you can see that, I mean, all we got to do is close below that 9 moving average. But close a candle this week. We're coming up on Sunday below 59,143, and then it doesn't look good from there. It's a possibility that can happen. We're at 59,147, 347 right now. Now, this was a nice big wick candle, but there could be a couple more of these coming down and touching this trend line. That's just a fact. If we pull our Fibonacci from swing high to swing low from the last cycle high, I like to go back to my other candles. Oh, well, interesting. I've seen some Okay. So we got a 618 coming in at 48,027. I want to mark that guy here on the bigger time. We're on the monthly time frame, by the way. We're going huge because this is going to tell us, this gives us the best chance of picking out what the hell is actually going to happen here. Also, we're going to mark this 0.5 because by Dow theory, when you get a nice big run up, Charles Dow says, well, coming back halfway to the halfway mark at about 42,000. Woohoo, baby. Gotta love those numbers. I mean, but it's on the table. It's on the table. These are the two main areas that I would be looking for us to possibly come back to. Well, no wonder. Excuse me for a moment. This was swing high to swing low. Tell me where price can go. That one tells us that maybe there's a possibility we bounced off of the 48. We found support at the 40 at the 618 Fibonacci 48.4. That's what this one is saying. Now, to get any lower targets, I want to pull a different fib. And that is where we go from swing low to swing high. Now, this is the 618 that we need to worry about because this is on this regular rung. The one that we can actually pull back to is 36,950. That's what I was looking for. That's the main one. I'm gonna change this so I know it's something. It's from a different thing there. All right. So, and then we got the 0.5, which is coming in at 44,000. We might stop there. I don't know. But wouldn't it suck if we're sitting here and 63,000 and just roll over and make a lower low down here at that 0.5, 44,000, and you're not ready for it, you're not prepared for it. That's the situation we want to try. And I want to talk about avoiding right here because, well, that's just no fun. So these are the main things that we've got for our monthly. We've got there's lots of little areas of support over here that we can track too, but the bigger thing is there could be a bigger move in play. Now, I like that we're above the 9-moving average so far. We're sitting at 59.4. Today's got a nice little bounce off of that $58,000, $57,000 area. But that's not what we're looking at. We're looking at these bigger things. So the monthly, we're still above the 9. So technically, we are still good. But let's look at what our indicators are saying. Stochastics are rolling over. Money flow is rolling over. VWAP is coming down. Momentum wave is coming down. And when it does it, it can go a long way and get into the negative here. Where are we going to see that? I don't know. We could. That's the point. We could. This is one of the biggest things right here that I'm looking at. This is MACD. She's already starting to roll over. The histogram is coming over. This is the forewarning sign. This is one of the signs that I played off over here and over here. All these bigger time frames, not taking them seriously, and we'll get to that in a moment on the weekly where I didn't take that one seriously just recently, and here I am in the situation where I'm in drawdown. And if I'd listened to that signal, I would be in a much different spot right now. And that's why I think that this is so important to talk about right now. RSI also working its way to the downside there. Now, if you want to look at something kind of telling, swing high to the higher swing high. Let's go back to this one over here too. And if we look at RSI, oh, that one's coming down. So far, the last one that we had, the last peak has got a little bit of an elevated. So not bearish divergence from this high, but there is from this one over here. And that is, if there's some there that we can look at, it's probably worth taking into consideration. So that was the monthly. From here, I'm just going to come down to the 2 weekly, mostly to look at this guy. This is our MACD negative cross. She went bearish. Look at the other times that this has happened. This was the tops of the market. Now, I'm not saying we are at the top of our market, but I'm saying something's going on here. And it may be the bigger global environment, the impact that we're seeing, but showing up on the charts. But this is a clear 2-week downtrend. It has been confirmed for 3 weeks now. The warning signs came a few weeks ago, back in early June. Hey, this might be a good time to think about paying yourself. And I wish I'd done a better job of that, just to be honest with you. Now, what we got here on the 2-week, I've got market cipher up here, and our stochastics are bottom now. Okay, that's fine. Now, if they start pointing up, that could be a good sign. but they can level out here like they did back over here, when prices just started tanking. So being at the bottom of the stochastics doesn't mean that you're necessarily just going to pump back to the other side. Sometimes she can hang out there as prices continue to dump. That's why the stochastics is only dependable when she's actually moving and not when she's really bottomed out or topped out like this. So those are some key things I'm looking at there. Now, I want to also come down to the weekly, and I want to talk about the MACD. This is the one that I ignored. This is the one I should have been paying attention to back up here in April, and especially late April. And that's when she officially crossed. That would have been getting out in 70 something, taking a healthy amount of profits. That's the game plan in the back of my mind. I just got all caught up in the bullishness and forgot to keep tracks on my main. This is a trustworthy indicator. This indicator back here, the MACD on the bigger time frames, on the weekly, on the monthly, will save your ass in these markets. And I kind of got lax on that, but look over here, man. The other two times, we'll look at the cross. We'll look at the peak right when she first started turning. Well, we'll look at the peak over here on the histogram. How's that? Or where she started turning around. I'm kind of looking at both of them. So you see, you can see how the MACD, the lines keep going up, right? If we're actually looking at it, kind of put it at the corner of the screen over here. Maybe we can see it. That's what it looked like as it plays out. See, it looks really good there. It looks really good there. Come over. And then you see the histogram is starting to level out. That's the first signs. We're getting a little weak. Then you see the top part start to fold over as the histogram coming down here. She's getting ready to roll over. So it's these areas right here. And let's see what the chart looks like right before we top out. Those are your signs. That MACD will save your ass in this market. If you can put, I don't know, maybe alerts. Maybe that's what I got to do, start using some alerts on that. But it's easy to see it on the big time frame, but see the small time frames when they're looking all bullish, and then you got all the YouTubers saying, yeah, we're going to 73,000, and you got all this other stuff going on in the market, news articles coming out, there's something going on, and then you get the dump. But the MACD spells it out every time. Look over here at this one where we were doing the same thing. At this point in the market, this is when we were back up about 67, 68. This was the last market. And then what happened? That's when she had the big dump. So if we look at that, and then we look and see what's happening, what happened right here? We started getting those same signs right here. That's when we were topping out 71 to 68,000. Right in this area. And we crossed. That was the signal to take the bulk of your profits when that happens. So if you learn nothing, this is one of the biggest tricks to this game that I can share with you. Is this MACD, and and I'm an example of how easy it is to ignore it, man. How easy it is to get caught up and not listen to it and get caught up in stuff. Now she's still got a little bit more to go here. We've got no signs that we're turning around just yet. Now they're trying to form some divergence here on these guys, but it's still too early. Remember the bigger guy right here? She's just now rolling over. Now imagine what the monthly, we're catching the monthly at a good time. Now, I'm not saying that we're getting ready to go to zero or anything, but I'm saying whatever powers that be, I think they want Bitcoin cheaper, and I think they got a way to do it. It's kind of weird about the U.S. government. I don't know if they're going to sell off all the Bitcoin, but when there's still something going on there, or else they wouldn't be doing all this stuff on news days. They target freaking news days to make moves. The Operation Choke Point 2.0 or 3.0, whatever it may be now, that's still in effect, in my personal opinion. Regardless of the rhetoric, their actions and the effects that it's having on the market, it's a concern. So that's what I am seeing. Now, how far? I mean, 44, I mean, 30, 36, 38 is on the table. I mean, can you handle that? It seems unreal. It seems like, oh man, that could never happen since we've been up to 70,000. Well, this run here says, with their Fibonacci, says yes, it can, and we see that go time and time and time again, over and over. The concern was when we broke this trend line. And I'm still on the weekly. We broke it, we retested it back at 69, 70,000, and then dumped and made a new low. So we're looking at a possibility of doing something like that. We may come back up to 64,000 and roll over. I hope that's what we do. That would give us a better time to de-risk. Now, there are some schools of thought out there looking at this Wyckoff reaccumulation this spring, and we're just getting ready to do it. They also thought that over here. And I was rooting for them too. I wanted that to be that spring so bad. Now, it may not be terrible to come back. We may not get back down here at 36, 38. I'm not saying that we will, but it's on the table. But we are looking like we may come down, at least retest that low, 48,000. So if we come down here, that's another $10,000 drop out of Bitcoin. What's your plan? What you got planned? All right, so I'm going to show you talk about what I did to de-risk a little bit to get me started, especially on my smart margin, because the situation I was in is, and I found this last time, even if I protect my positions, all I would be doing just by protecting those positions and trying to make sure that they can withstand the ride is gambling that they will hold when we come down here. We're making your low. I mean, I don't want to put my positions at risk, get liquidated. I've lost a few positions on this thing. That wasn't fun. That sets me back. But if I can take advantage of it and plan ahead for it, well, then I can capitalize on it. Then I can turn this around so that I can rebound from this and make faster gains. And that's the game plan. So I think when you try to make it in this market, you've got to keep the risk factors in mind, and you've actually got to manage your trades a little bit, and that's what I'm going to be talking about here in just a minute. Let me go to the chat, give a shout out to everybody that's here. Thank God my microphone is on. And let me get the right screen out here. I want to see if I can put this thing, I want to find a way so I can put my text box up here permanently, at least for you guys to see. Archbit says, I may have bought the Tokenmetrics Life Pass NFT. That's pretty cool. I got the advanced one, I think. It cost me seems like it was about $500 at the time in Ethereum or whatever. I like that. I like that better than paying a $100 a month subscription or whatever it is that they charge. So I like that. They pay a road dog. If you look at Velo, just hit uphold, and I'm looking for a pullback. I can, but if you don't mind, I just want to stay on topic and get this covered. Then after that, I'm happy to go over a few coins or something. Dave P is just upset. He wants first Velo, smash like if you are. Chill. Appreciate that, Archbit. Thank you for the super chat. All right, so here we are, 2-week chart. MACD on the 2-week, just confirming its rollover, saying, something about to happen here, baby. Something about to happen here. Last time we took a nasty dump. I'm seeing signs that, man, we're getting set up for something. Now, I know if we come over and check out the smaller time frames on Bitcoin, it's kind of funky. Now, at very best, what I would like to see, what we can have, is just a rollback, maybe down to here. We still got some other options. We don't have to make a higher low. But the only thing we can do is plan accordingly, right? Now, we could, with Bitcoin, find support 54, 52. But then, if that doesn't hold, we're looking at 45, 42, down to 40. This little Fibonacci move right here spells it all out. This is part of the technique that I'm using in my de-risking strategy and buyback strategy as well. So let me explain. I'll just use Bitcoin to show you exactly what I'm doing. So I'm going to talk a minute about spot margin and what I was struggling with. Spot margin is where I can is use a little bit of leverage, just low leverage, but it can still wipe you out. But it is very low, a lot safer than perpetuals, and it's a lot more flexible. But I've got to have some dry powder. What I've done with that is at this point we're 58, 60,000, and I'm looking over it and knowing where I bought Bitcoin cheap and I got it at risk or whatever. I basically what I'm doing on my altcoins and everything, I took at least 10%. Okay, when you're on spot margin, you can build a bag. Let's say you've got 1,000 coins, right? You put in there. Oh, you can borrow leverage against that, and it's easy to double or even sometimes triple the size of those bags. So instead of 2,000, maybe you got 20. Instead of 1,000, maybe you got 2,500 coins there. Well, the situation I found with spot margin is that I'm sitting there wanting to hold that 2,500 coins, down or and then try to borrow money and buy more when they're low, and that does not work out good. So if I de-risk a little bit, now if I got my collateral is 1,000 coins, I've got 2,500 coins in control of. If I de-risk by about 10, maybe 20%, selling 250 to 500 of those tokens, that gives me a cash reserve off the bat. And I'm not really, I've still got my main amount that I put in. I'm not lost that. I've just shrunk the bag that I've grew. So when I'm looking at it that way, I mean, there's going to be drawdown in that mix, but it's not realized losses or anything, and it gives me that dry powder. So for instance, if I took 20% up, or 10 to 20, I did 10, 15 was where I was. A few coins I might have went 20%, just depending on what they were looking like. But here's basically the deal. So I would get that, and then they would give me cash reserves. I would get 10% and I take 10 to 15 cash immediately. Now, I did not pay back loans. I just kept that there. So this dry powder, and then I deploy. I do a swing low to swing high, and this works on any asset, where we come down, and then the high that we recently got, now for Bitcoin, it was 62,000. We haven't been able to make it past there. Doesn't look like we're going to by these moving averages. Moving averages are looking rough, and that's another thing I didn't quite cover on the bigger time frames, the moving averages. Overall, the move is there. But for some of the, we're looking at the weekly, the dailies, and some of those are saying they're trying to roll us over, and we're seeing that right here on the 1 hour. It's saying, man, we'll be lucky if we can get up to 63 and get past it. Don't see it happening. It says it's doubtful. It's doubtful. Now, on the chance that, markets just turn around, of course, we just saw the bigger time frame saying, it probably ain't going to happen. But if it does, we're cool. If we start going up and we get past these concerning areas, especially if Bitcoin gets back to 65, we're cool, man. We can figure out when to get back in, and then we can ride that train on up and just watch profits start rolling in, because we'll be on an upward trend. But I'm not seeing that happen. Just not seeing it happen. So, de-risk, I'll do a fib pull from swing low to swing high. And I'm targeting specific Fibonacci's, okay? And this was, if you're not familiar with the Fibonacci, well, this is kind of a little crash course, man. You can put this together, and this has been a game changer for me. Well, geez, can I get these little lines that I got during there? All right, so Fibonacci right over here, swing low to swing high. Tell me where I need to buy. And I'm only focusing on this swing low to that swing high. That is all that matters on this particular move here. What I am doing, and this could be on SWI, this could be on Solana. I'm doing the same measurement, but I am targeting. You can target this 1618. Let me explain how this works. When you take a Fibonacci, you're basing it, the price action is going to respond in some kind of harmonic fashion to this particular move. It's going to have some kind of ratio effect to this. And it can go a 1-to-1 either way. It could go all the way up here to 76. It can come and put you at the 0. Well, I'm sorry, put it at the 618. I'm sorry, put it into the middle line. It can No, actually. No, that's true. You can actually get a full move down through there. Now, we use the 618s on here. Those are just magical. And what you usually find is that that will be the range. It rarely goes over that. So if we got, this is our move. It's very unlikely that during this play, I mean, there will be a major correction here, or there will be a major bounce here. And that's just how it works. Now, it doesn't always go to those extremes, and it rarely does, but it can. And this is 40,000 for this one. So basically, to be on the safe side, pulling a Fibonacci, swing high to swing low. We got our targets. If I had sold, I don't know, let's say I had $10,000, or maybe I got cash in $10,000, because this is Bitcoin. It would, it was just hypothetically. I got one. I want to go with this target, this one, this one, this one, this one. This one's iffy. You can put it in there optionally if you want to. All of these, I'm putting buy orders. I'm limiting in and I'm pyramiding. Or maybe I'll take it equal amounts. If I have $10,000, maybe I'm doing 1,000, 1,000, 1,000, 1,000, 1,000, 1,000, 1,000. I could do that. Do the little candle, the little candles stick approach, where you just dip the wick in, and wherever she comes back, it just fills up. Ideally, if you taper it and put your large orders here, that would actually work out better and faster. The thing is, it may not fill all your orders, and that's cool too, because when she starts bouncing, making higher lows, you can just put them in at those points. But that's my with the 10 to 20% that I've took out of my altcoins now from the bigger bags is giving me cash reserves, and I'm deploying in that fashion. A lot of times I'm just starting from here, the 1272. But just to be thorough about it, that 1618 it's possible. It doesn't usually hit, but it can. But 1414, 1212, 1272, 1.13, 886, 786, 618. These are all areas right here where it can bounce. I want some limit orders there, but preferably, they'll get bigger, 20, 30, they'll grow as they come down. 47,000, 45,000, and I would just see, and I'm doing this on every asset. Now that's where what I do with my dry powder. Now the beauty of this, if I've got dry powder, and especially if I'm using spot margin, I probably still can borrow money as we're coming down. And as we get closer to these areas, if I want to add more and borrow and put a little bit more risk into it, I've got my positions where I can do that. Hopefully, see how they hold up. Then maybe I'll pull out and borrow some and buy a little bit more down here and add to my bags. But at least it gives me a chance to have a plan to get it down there if I'm trying to do that. Now, on the other side, let's say you have 2,500 coins. You've sold 500 of them, leaving you with 2,000 coins. We're going to use Bitcoin as an example. Now taking profits. This is what I'm doing. I'm also setting limit orders to take my profits. And I'm going from this one, swing high to swing low. Tell me where price is going to go. I'm basically doing the same thing in opposition. This tells me that if things go the other way, my highest target, let's go with Bitcoin, 1618. Rare that would hit, but it can. 83,000. I'm going with the 138, 78,000. This is when I'm really going to start paying. These are the targets I'm really expecting that can hit. 75,000 at the 1272. At the 1.13, I got 72,750. You can put one here at the 0. That's just be a retest of the higher high. 70,000. The 886, the 786, and the 618. And any place that we're not under, I might put a little sell order there. So I got 2,500 coins, or 2,000 coins left, right? Well, I might be looking at going 200 here, 200 here, 200 here, 200, 200, do it down that way. Or maybe I could wait it. It would be sounding a little bit less. I would probably wait it from here. So if I were trying to wait it, I would use the 4-3-2-1 strategy, which looks kind of like this, but it only gives me It only gives me really 4 good targets. So that would work 1, 2, 3, 4. You could do that here. Or you can divide it up. But let me go over this 4, 3, 2, 1 strategy. If I've got 1,000 tokens to deploy, I could put 400, 300, 200, 100, pyramid it down from right here, and that'll take up my 1,000 tokens. If I got 2,000s, I can just double it. I'll do 800, 600, 400, 200, and that will take care of those 2,000 tokens within this little area. See what I'm getting at? So now I mix it up. I may pyramid it. I may just go. I just may go equal. And honestly, a lot of them I did go equal because it's just easier to figure out that way. And I don't expect some of these targets to hit, but they're there just in case. And what this will do, and that's from the bigger move. Now, another thing that I did, let me go over this. This is, so I've got those tokens, and maybe I got some leftover tokens. I'm planning that out too in some of these. In that case, I am going from this last high all the way to our bottom, and then I'm going to do the same thing based on this run right here, on this swing high to that swing low. And let's go over these targets. What would they look like if we're using Bitcoin because we're familiar with the prices of it. 65,008 is our 1618. Doubtful that gets hit. It rarely does, but it can. 64,600. That is our 138, 1414 area. Definite rollover area. One of my favorite rollover areas is in 1.272, 64,130. 113, the 1.13 fib, 63,412. Here's the ones that the moving averages are spelling out here on this particular time frame, saying we probably won't get past here. Well, that will be coming back up to retest that area at the 0 or at the 1, 62,755. But each one of these, we can put a little order in to do the same exact thing or pyramid it down with what's left over. So you got 2 scales, man. You got 2 scales. You got your bigger picture, and then you got the more immediate one. And so I'm paying a lot of attention with this local one too to get dry powder when I need dry powder. Because this says that we've got a chance. To maybe make it back up to 60,000, 635. But she's not wanting to do right where she dropped now, and she at 58.4. Is she dropping? You were doing so good, Bitcoin. We might ought to look at some of the moving averages again, and let me reiterate why that I'm looking at these ideas. Maybe I should just erase you. Moving averages. Let's look at them on the weekly. I want to use some of the bigger ones here too. These are some of my, oh, they're on there. They just don't show up. Moving averages on Bitcoin on the weekly. We're above the 200. The 100 is below the 200, and that's technically bearish. We haven't really flipped over. There's got to be some more higher price action before we can officially flip over. Now they're both headed up, and the momentum's headed to the upside, so we got that going in our favor, right? So that's good, and we're retesting the 50, and we've done that before. We did that over here, and we can bounce, but we can also come back. How many times did it touch that 50 over here? We got 1, 2, 3, 4 good touches on that 50 over weeks and weeks. That was a dreaded. Right now, it feels a lot like it did back over here after we reached our first top. And we got a lot of the same signals in the market too. So we are below the 9 moving average on the weekly, officially below it. That's your signal. If you're using a 9 moving average strategy, when you open a candle below it, that means you're officially bearish. You can start shorting. And so all those take profit areas or those sell areas that we did on the Fibonacci, you can also, if you're doing spot margin, instead of borrowing dollars, you can borrow coins and short and do that. And I want it, I like that idea too, and I may be employing that at some point, just depending on what I see play out over the next few days with the market. So the weekly, we are officially bearish, and we're really close to a red cloud, and it suggests that we can come back down to 50,000 as well. So chances are, even though we got a green candle here, the way that we've done this, we'll probably come back and test that 50 one more time on the weekly. Now, if I move like to the 3-day and things like that, we've got our bigger moving averages coming into play here. And so far, they look all right. Now, we're caught up on the 50 moving average, below the 9. 9's across the 21, price below the 9.21 and all that. Good chance we can lose this. We're right smack dab in the middle of a green, or not in the middle, but touching a green Ichimoku cloud. They do suck us in toward the bottom for 50,000. Smack dab in the middle of another green Ichimoku cloud right here with the little red over here. It's just opposite what we really want to be seeing. If we were in the middle of a red cloud with a little green, I'd be looking for up. We're not. We're just opposite. Price usually falls into these green clouds and it spits it out on the other side. And if we are looking to make a lower low, well, I mean, that we've got a trend line that tells us. Below the 9, we rolled over here. We're below the 50, the 9, and the 21. Now, the good thing that's going on in the 3 days is that the 9 hasn't crossed bear still at 21. But just depending on what price does here, that I would expect it to at least come back down. Here on this one, 54,000 for that retest of that 100 moving average. Sounds reasonable. Might it hold there? It might. But we still dropping another $4,000 if it happens. That means altcoins are going to get freaking decimated. Meaning that if you're on the right side of it, if you got dry powder, you can buy them up when they're cheap instead of just hoping and praying that your position holds, and or you know that one of these days this market will turn around. You can, and if you buying cheaper at those bottom areas, when we do turn around, which we will do, because we are in the bull market, believe it or not, we're just in a bear trend, and this bear trend can keep going lower. We didn't make a higher high. That's the thing. When you pull your Fibonacci here, swing high to swing low, if we get rejected off this 618, that's what opens up these bottom areas, the 42,000. We just did that. We don't have to, but we can. Now, we do have the 800, 600 moving average. That should give us lots of support through this area. And 800's coming around 48,000. It hasn't been tested yet. 600's coming in somewhere around 52. So, you know, anywhere through there where we could turn around, even on the moving averages. But what I want to point out, and what am I on, the 12 hour? I like to go to the daily. We can go to the daily. There's the bear cross of the 50 over the 200, and that normally spells down. And I know it doesn't always, it's not always horrible when we're in a bullish trend. Like it did cross bearish over here and we came down, but we still, you know, we still had some choppiness and everything. That was being nice, and we recovered from that. Maybe we'll do that now, but there's no guarantees. What we usually see in those times, it crosses, and then we get some down until we recover that 50 moving average of price, and then we got some hope. We are not ready to start recovering that 50 moving average. It just now crossed. It's going to be a minute. And until then, well, just this fib tells me 53.8. That's going to be the same for whatever for a fib. But swing high to swing low. That's not the one that tells me where the downward price, but it is a valid level that can be tested for support resistance. The biggest thing for this pull is to see that we got rejected here at the 618, 200 moving average, and the 50 moving average. 100 moving average is still up there, so that gives us hope that maybe 64.3 might, maybe we'll get about, we could do something like that, but that's still a rollover danger. Even worse if that 100 crosses over this 200, which, that's the next one to cross. It's going to take it, maybe another week or so before we start getting there. Just depending on what price does, but the more price goes down, the faster it crosses. And when that crosses, they've all flipped over. When that happens, they have all flipped over, and then that's not good. That could get kind of scary and everything. And so that is my reason for taking this time to do a little de-risking. Now I'm gonna pull up Caspa. I know that's one that a lot of people are in, and we can use that as an example because I'm doing the same thing for Caspa. So let's say you got a 10,000 Caspa bag. Just for it to have a number to play with. Swing high to swing low. I'm targeting these areas 24, 23, 21.8, 20, 18, or 19.8, 18.9, 17.5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If you had, let's say you had 10,000 Caspa, and do 1,000, 1,000, 1,000, 1,000, 1,000, 1,000, 1,000. They may not get hit anytime soon, okay? You still got 3,000 left. So we just deployed 7,000 Caspa using that. And I want to reiterate this. Now think about this. If price just suddenly goes up there and rebounds, man, I mean, you're making all these gains up there. So not bad. You need that, and then she'll reverse and come back. And if it does that, you just, you've got the dry powder and the profit. Add to it. That would be the great situation. Of course, we don't see that happening just yet. All right, so now we still, okay, so out of 10, we deployed 7,000, and now let's go swing low to swing high. I'm sorry. I want to get some more localized targets, so I'm going to go from our high here to our low there. And I would do the same thing from this pool right over here, just on a smaller scale. So we still got 3,000 more Caspa left, so maybe I'll throw out 500 here, 500 here, 500 here, 500 here, 500 here, and 500 here at the 786. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, yeah. And so I would get that, and if we come up, then I got some dry powder. If we come down, then I can put some buys in. Now my buys, same thing that we did with Bitcoin. And I'm doing this on the bigger time frame just so I can zoom in. But if we're using the Fibonacci's, it doesn't matter what time frame you're on. This goes by totally by price action. Swing low to swing high. Tell me where I need to buy. So if you have cash, dry powder, you took some profits in cash or whatever, if the whole goal is to have some dry powder to deploy, and these are the areas I would be looking at. 11.11, 11.8, 12.9, 13.5, 14.3ish. These areas are going to be, this may be as far as she comes down. It looks to be that there will be a lot of support there. 14.8, and just every one of these fibs I would have. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, possibly 9. So if I had $1,000 that I was trying to deploy, I could do 100. Oh, it's not re-pyramid, but I could do 100 at each one, or I could try to, come up with a plan where they're weighted a little bit more heavy here. If I had 1,000. Probably like some start 200, 150, something. So, figure it out that way, but try to weight it more on the lower ones. But we can definitely see 14.2 coming for Caspa again. And rather than write it down and hoping for the best, taking that 20% drop, have dry powder to get Caspa cheap. But the possibility if we're taking another 20 to 30% drop in Caspa, ouch, ouch, ouch. speaking of cash, but how do you look? How do you look overall? As a I guess we should look at total 3, just a representation of our altcoins. That's probably the best thing to do here. And let's take a look at them on the monthly. Why bearish on altcoins? Well, our monthly MACD rolling over. No bueno. She started rolling over right over here at that last top, January 22, and then when she actually crossed, and this one may not cross, and let's hope that it doesn't, but she's rolling over, and she's going to come down. If we look at market cipher here, there's some bearish divergence right here that is pointing out on the wave table. Stochastics coming down on the monthly, even though the money flow is still in green, and that helps us not to take the brunt of it. You know, things are still coming down. And stochastics, they usually always come back down to this level. How far can price go to get back down here before we start going up on these altcoins? They could take a beating. And I'm not trying to spell fun. I'm just trying to just put some caution in the air and give a plan of something to help de-risk, so you know you can take advantage of the prices when they do come down. And they may go up a little bit. We may have over these, we're going to have 4 to 8 weeks of just chop. If not slowly draining out and bleeding out, then chop. It's not going to be fun. And what I'm showing you is the best strategy I've come up with to actually kind of take advantage of that without having to just be in the charts all the time. You can set your limit orders, just set them, forget it, and just sit back and wait for things to hit. Manage your trades. Make sure if you're using leverage that you know your risk is in an acceptable place. You're not in danger of getting liquidated. But those ideas there. On the weekly, man, we're below the non-moving average, which is bearish. 9 across the 21 over here. Again, we got some good signs with being above the 200 moving average, but on total 3, and the 100 is still below the 200. That's still bearish. We got a chance to come back and test that little sucker. That means about $100 billion dropping out of altcoins. That could mean another 20% drop out of altcoins. Some of them going up to 30. So those are the things that. It's just foolish, in my opinion, to ignore them. When you break a trend line, bearishly retested, prices are going to be coming down and stuff. Here on the 3-day, we've just lost the 100 moving average. Closed candle below it. 9 already across the 21 bearishly just now, so the prices, they're going to be bleeding now. It may be a slow bleed. I'd rather have a slow bleed, I guess. I don't know. But that's what I'm seeing in the market, and that's why I think it's a good time to just plan ahead, plan accordingly, because it does look like they're going to drive us down. We may get a little pumps over this weekend, maybe over this next week, get up and get us all fired up again. But until we get past 65,000 on Bitcoin, we ain't going nowhere. And there is no signs on the bigger charts that we're going to do that. This looking like she needs to take a little chill pill for a while. Just bend over and take it, because they are humping us right now all the way down to lower 50s, and hopefully they stop there. Come back to the chat, pick up where we left off. Harkbit says, I have to rewatch this, so much gold. Yeah, I had to close my future long since it was sharing margin with the spot. Oh, with the spot? What account is what exchange would that be? For your future share with the spot margin account? Ooh, that would be risky. Yeah, I wouldn't want to do that either. Says the end profit though. Cool. Oh, we got Joe from Trade Intuition. How's it going, Joe? And Archbishop says, Ave. Very glad to see you focus on these topics. I need a reminder now and then too. Oh, unified account. I'm always hopeful and I'm bullish for the cycle and everything, but I can't ignore the signs, and I can't. It's a definite reminder of the signs that I saw in the charts over the past few months that I just probably okay. the rules that I broke there, and the rules are being broken right now. I'm just planning ahead for it. And I'm hoping that we do get a bump up. I would love to see that, and then get us all bullish back up to Bitcoin to 65,000 or something. But again, the signs aren't there that we're going to make it past that. So if you can get paid, if we get any relief rallies again, I suggest paying yourself stronger or pulling out some collateral, dry powder, and get ready for a retest of these lows. Or I don't know. I don't know if they can take us. Who knows? But we could go lower. We want to be ready for that. So I've got my Bitcoin de-risk down to 38,000. I still want to de-risk it some more. So whew. I'm in some major leverage plays right now. It's low leverage, but I mean it's still I've got myself out there a little bit more than what I really wanted to. But play it as well as I can, and also maybe start shorting some of these little guys. All right, so let's take a look at a few of the requests real quick, and then we'll just get on wrap this little guy up. I lost my chat. I think it was Velo was the first one, right? Yeah, Velo. Let's take a look at Velo. On the daily. Why is this up? I didn't want these little windows up. Why, there we go. All right, so Velo. Man, oh man. Man, she right on the bottom of that trend line. It's got some wicks through it. That's Ichimoku Cloud looks freakishly scary. All right, I'll just keep going over this little de-risking strategy that I got because it's part of the analysis anyway. I think I'm officially a fib trader now. I started out as a pattern trader, but the fibs and the moving averages, they really are the some of the biggest things I go with. So let's zoom out on the monthly. Let's do that first. Not much information there for us. So far, I mean, it could hold. Velo's at what, 0.066 right now? And she's pressing on that though. She's wick below this. I mean, we could incorporate the wicks. We can do that, and that suggests we can come down here to this area, 0.056 area. That's also where our Fibonacci 0.5 is coming. Well, let me make sure I got that pulled right. On a different time frame here. Different looking candles. There we go. That's a nice sign at the moment. We're nowhere near to be able to take advantage of it, but it's nice to see a thicker cloud. How thick it is right there, showing up. A little promising. Still below the 9 moving average on all these time frames. Ooh, oh, it's way up here. I like it when on the bigger time frames when the 9 is away from price and high up above it. It could be a sign that we might pull back up to that area. Okay. You just did that twice. So it looks like she's come back, almost made it back to 0 there. So she may be trying to double bottom on us. That's cool. If I were playing this one, these are the targets I'd be looking for. It's very unlikely that she gets back above this anytime soon. We're on the daily, so it'd take weeks and weeks, in my personal opinion, for us to get back up to 13.4. 11.6 looks like it's important too, and moving average is coming in up there, and then of course 786 here coming in at 10, 618. These are areas I would have limit orders set. Take advantage of this. Every one of these. Maybe even if you just need to get some dry powder, even at that 236 area, because it's come right back down here. So for short-term take profits,
I would try to pyramid or at least find a good amount to take on each of those particular levels. And if I were going to de-risk a bit, come down to a smaller time frame just so I can get some more noise in this chart, since it's a shorter term play here. We're basically just looking for this move right here. And then again, the places that I've been looking at buying, the 1618 down here, unlikely that we hit 4 cents. 4.8, that's a different monkey though. 5.1, that one's on the table. She's already come down to 5.5 there a little bit. 5.6, 5.88, 0.0625. You know that one's coming in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 different places that you could layer in, but she shouldn't come down below 0.04. She should not. It would be an anomaly. At least on this run, without a pullback is what I'm saying. I mean, we can always, you can, when it comes to these fibs in these areas, where I say like maybe up here, I mean, she can always come up here and then work on something. And then, you know, because we got some, well, we got a higher high, we got a near fib thing to throw in the bucket there. So we take new information after prices get hit. But in the meantime, we're basing all of this just on this move here. A ratio off of that is how this game is played with the fibs, and it works beautifully. So these are the areas you can come down on Velo. Did I move that, didn't I? Did I move that? Yeah, here, these are there. Thought something looked wrong. And normally what I would expect with this is that we would, you know, a good decent bounce would happen at the 618. If that happens, I'm cool. That's fine. But I like to have some limit orders down here, and just in case. But if she does, gosh darn it, can we not? Did I screw that up again? Put you back up where you go. Okay, here we are. So we would look for a bounce here, but normally we see it happen in these two areas. So if we're going to come down and make a higher low, that's what we're looking for on this or any of the other altcoins. But a 786 or 886 retracement, that it can recover from that, but you know, she might be a little choppy after that. A bounce anywhere above the 618 at any of these levels, it gives us a stronger move to the upside. But it's these guys down here for that lower low. If we make a lower low, those are the guys we're looking at. And let's see, there was one other. I thought there was one other. Ave. And I think I went over, and sometimes I'll go out and set this up. I'll set this stuff up, but then sometimes I'll clear everything out and just do it all over again, taking new information, make sure everything's still, you know, tweak what I've got. I find myself doing that pretty regular too. I got a bunch of coins on there, so it takes a little while. Ave is doing nice. You got up to what, 111? And this is where I was figuring it out earlier today. Let's see if we can zoom out a little bit what I was looking at, which was the last one I pulled. Swing low to swing high, tell me where I need to buy, and that's where I got the levels. So if I got dry powder, honestly, for Ave, it looks like she might catch down here at $80, but I'm still going 58, 65. Sometimes I skip this one. 75 or 76, 81, $88.94. And even since she's doing so good, might even put some smaller orders here at 99. I did. And I think on this one, I actually did pyramid in. It looks like Ave could have a good chance to hold around $80. I hope she does. She's been impressively strong. This one and Zcash both have done good. I'm glad I moved my Zcash over. Now for profits, swing high to swing low, and let's read and see what we got. So looks like we're trying to retest this 0.5, so 112 is coming into the picture. Definitely 121, 122 at the 618, maybe 135. But now I put orders in on all these guys. I don't even expect them to hit, but if it does, that's okay. If the market just decides to go bullish and I didn't de-risk, I'm taking profits all the way up at each step, all the way up to 77% profits on this. Layer down. And this is basically how I'm playing my spot margin position. This is the secret sauce. And if you want to take this one on a little bit of a shorter leg, if you want something a little bit more particular, we do a swing high to this swing low. And it says she's about ready to tops out, but hey man, 114 might come into the picture. 124 might be in there. You can throw a few little extra limit orders in based on that could get hit. And I'm pretty sure that we didn't. We haven't. We got to make sure that we got a top here, but considering that has a likelihood to be it, we wait for confirmation. Maybe on another time frame, yeah, that might work. 6 hours seems like it might be. And then pull my little fib there from this low. Oh, did I do it right? Did I move my little thing? Yeah. This low to that high, and that gives me my buy target. Swing low to swing high. Tell me where I need to buy. And so Aave, based on this move, 84, 87, 95, 98, 101. I think I did it from, did I do it from this low? This will be more immediate price action. If you're trying to really get orders filled, you'll see more likely. If you take it from this bottom here, I mean, you can have good results with these levels, but it just takes a little longer. Whatever is congruent with your latest swing high to swing low will be where you see the best price action on your fibs immediately anyway. So Aave, man, I like seeing it at 111, 112. I've been taking profits on Aave as I can and ready. Got my orders all set down through here, ready to pick her up if we get that bigger ass drop. Archivist says, rules are meant to be broken, are they not? Well, the ones that save your ass, the ones that you swear that you'll listen to next time, yeah, those are probably good ones to hold on to. And then the MACD was one of mine. I look back now, I'm like, why the hell didn't you take the bulk of your profits when they were crossing? That was your whole game plan from 2 years ago. You said, that's what I'm looking for. That's one of the biggest things I'm looking for. And I just let it slide on by. And I'm like, well, that feels a lot like last time. And you can know what to do. You can look at the charts and get the perfect setup. And let's just say it plays out to the T, exactly what you saw in the chart. Maybe you got right, but how you execute and manage the trade, that you have to be in a trade first. The way that you manage that, that's where all these real profit and loss comes from. So rules to save your ass, yeah, I think is a good thing. Hardbit says I'll liberate some more bags and take part over to CoinEx to give it a try. Yeah, now on these big drops that we got, and that's what I've been talking about on the membership streams about spot margin and everything, because I go into a lot more detail about that, which is a great strategy, and I like it. I like it a lot. But all these bags, especially for me, because I seem to have a problem collecting coins, and I'm using spot margin to weed it out, and this is helping a lot. So I can, as these profits come up, man, I'm just going to collect that money, put it over into something, like Caspa and Bitcoin are my two biggest two. Link, Near, I got to build those bags up because I lost some on them. Don't lose your train of thought, Road Dog. Spot margin. But when we get drops like what we had, and we'll probably have more coming, to take any bags that you got sitting on hardware wallets, move them over to exchange that does spot margin, and put them in there in a low leverage play, and then slowly, don't go all in. Just try to build those bags while we're at a bottom, and then when we bounce back up, man, oh gosh, you start seeing your account just go up, and you're like, oh my gosh, it's growing. But catching the bottom with a lower play trade like that, yeah, I like it. It just sucks when the market goes the other way, and then it's just not as happy. But I do show on the private membership strings, I show, how the drawdown that I've been in for since he's dropped, and what I did and what I think I do different, what I'm doing to correct that, and then when we start having to draw up, showing you how it actually recovers, and it starts recovering quick. So I do like that play, but if you're not in margin, not using leverage, you're definitely not stupid. Spot margin is a great way to go, and ain't a dang thing wrong with it. And lots of millionaires were made with just holding spot, so keep that in mind too. All right, guys, that's all I got for this. I'll just go ahead and cut this off. Thank you for being here. I just wanted to go over this and go over what I'm seeing. I'm just saying that the markets, when I'm looking at the bigger time frames, I mean, just call a spade, man. It's we still got some rough times. I don't know what they got going on, but it looks like they want to take us down again. I'm not saying it's going to happen this week, but I'm going to say over the next few weeks, we probably see it. And if we're not ready for it, it'll catch us by surprise. We had the signs for the other ones. They were there. And if it don't follow what the signs are saying in the charts, the warning signs coming into the chart. What is this, Aave? Aave just got the red dot here on the 6-hour time frame. Stochastic set it down. Everything this would be the time to short if you're looking at shorting Aave. Or it could be. I'll put it that way. Because it looks like Aave's coming back down to about 100. Trying to, anyway. All right, guys. I'll see you tonight. Thanks for hanging out with me. And hopefully this information has been helpful. And overall, I am bullish on crypto, but altcoins are going to be taking a hit. And Bitcoin's going to take, I don't know why. I would have thought everybody'd be snatching it up at 58,000. And the reports say that they are, but it's not really boosting up price, is it? All these buys in the ETFs and all that stuff. I mean, it does help, but But overall, we're bullish, and Bitcoin will recover, altcoins will recover, but they may take a little hit. And it's best to kind of plan ahead and be on the right side of that rather than sitting here biting your nails, just watching your portfolio and your net worth just tank. This is my personal opinion. Guys, I'll see you tonight on tonight's stream. Go check out Joe's stream. I think he's streaming here in about 20 minutes. Trade Intuition. And see the alpha he's got to share. Keep yourself safe. See you guys.